The Persian Gulf in August does not negotiate with ships that prefer darkness. At 1:47 a.m., the ambient light from the Iranian coastline to the north-northeast creates a faint orange smear along that horizon. The reflected glow of Bandar Abbas, the refineries on Qeshm Island, the industrial concentration of a coast that has been economically active in this direction for 3,000 years and does not stop for the night. Against that orange background, the Strait of Hormuz is visible in rough silhouette. The northern coast of Oman 22 miles to the south, the Iranian coast 18 miles to the north-northeast, and between them, the narrowest passage through which approximately 20% of the world's traded petroleum moves in tankers that require the deep channel and the traffic separation scheme and the cooperation of the nations on either side. USS Cole makes 16 knots on a westerly heading through the strait's eastbound lane, operating as the close escort for a 3-ship commercial convoy, 2 VLCCs and a product tanker, bound for the Kuwaiti terminal. She has been at general quarters for 16 minutes. The IRGCN fast patrol boat activity that the intelligence community had flagged as elevated in the past 48 hours materialized at 1:31 a.m. when the surface search radar began resolving the cluster of small craft contacts to the north-northeast into identifiable profiles. 11 contacts, speeds between 38 and 44 knots, closing geometries consistent with an intercept of the convoy. At 1:33 a.m., the commanding officer classified the situation as a swarm engagement. The Cole's engagement plan for an IRGCN swarm in the strait is specific. The gun mount engages the nearest and most threatening craft at ranges above 2,000 meters. The small arms teams engage at closer ranges, and the CIWS Phalanx mounts. The Cole has 2, 1 forward and 1 aft. Provide last resort point defense against any fast-moving surface targets that reach the inner defense perimeter. The engagement began at 1:37 a.m. By 1:47 a.m., the engagement is 10 minutes old, and the tactical picture has evolved in the way that IRGCN swarm engagements evolve. Asymmetrically, in fragments. 7 of the original 11 contacts have been engaged by the gun mount and the small arms teams. 4 have turned away or are unresponsive. 3 are still closing. The 3 remaining contacts are at varying ranges and on varying bearings, which is the swarm tactics design. The dispersion forces the Cole's fire solutions to be sequential rather than simultaneous, because a gun mount and small arms teams cannot engage multiple separate targets simultaneously at different bearings. The contact that concerns the chief engineer, watching the tactical picture on the DC Central status display via the link feed, is the one designated Sierra 9. Sierra 9 is the 12th contact. It was not in the original 11. It appeared at 1:39 a.m. at a range of 7,400 meters, bearing 024 degrees, moving at 6 knots. The combat systems officer classified it at 1:40 a.m. as a potential decoy or disabled craft, something that was there but not apparently maneuvering as a threat. Its slow speed and straight track were inconsistent with the swarm's other contacts, which were all high speed and maneuvering. At 1:44 a.m., Sierra 9's speed increased from 6 knots to 41 knots. It is now at 2,100 meters, bearing 018 degrees, closing the Cole from the starboard bow. The combat systems officer has assessed it as a fast attack profile that was loitering at low speed to avoid early classification. The delayed high-speed run is an IRGCN tactic that the intelligence community has documented in Iranian maritime training exercises. The gun mount has just shifted to engage one of the other 3 closing contacts on the port side. It cannot immediately engage Sierra 9 on the starboard bow without a turret traverse of approximately 145 degrees. The forward CIWS Phalanx mount, which can engage surface targets as well as aerial targets in its surface mode, is mounted on the forward superstructure and has a clear arc of fire to the starboard bow. It is the natural engagement asset for Sierra 9. The Combat Systems Officer commands the forward CIWS to autonomous engagement mode at 1:44:11 a.m. The forward CIWS does not respond. The Phalanx CIWS in surface engagement mode is not a weapon that many people aboard the Cole think about as a primary engagement asset. Its reputation is as the last line of defense, the system that engages a sea-skimming missile that has survived everything else. In that role, it fires at aerial targets, and its 3,000 rounds per minute rate of fire against a maneuvering aircraft or missile is the relevant performance characteristic. But in surface mode, the Phalanx tracks surface contacts using its internal radar, classifies them by profile and velocity, and engages within its fire arcs independently of the ship's main fire control system. For a 12-meter fast patrol boat at 41 knots at 2,100 meters, a target that the 5-inch gun can engage but that the small arms teams cannot reach at that range. The CIWS in surface mode is the most efficient available engagement asset at the Cole's current tactical situation. It can engage Sierra 9 in the next 20 seconds if it is operational. It is not operational. At 1:44:13 a.m., the systems officer reports to the commanding officer. Forward CIWS not responding to autonomous engagement command. Fault indication on the mount control. FTCIWS is available, but has an obstructed arc to Sierra 9 current position. The aft CIWS is mounted on the aft superstructure. Its fire arc to the starboard bow is obstructed by the forward superstructure's profile. The upper bridge structure and the mast assembly block the aft CIWS's line of sight to a target at bearing 018 degrees. When the target is at close range, the obstruction clears at approximately bearing 035 degrees or beyond. But Sierra 9 is currently at 018 and closing on a track that will bring it inside the forward superstructure obstruction angle before it reaches a bearing where the aft CIWS can engage. The gun mount, traversing from the port arc to the starboard bow, will be on target at approximately 1:44:51 a.m., 40 seconds from the fault indication. At 41 knots, Sierra 9 will be at approximately 1,600 meters in 40 seconds. The gun mount can engage at 1,600 meters. The window is tight but available. At 1:44:19 a.m., the forward CIWS status comes back in the mount control display. GYRO FAULT. The CIWS's onboard gyroscope, which provides the mount with its inertial stabilization reference for accurate tracking and fire control, has faulted. The gyroscope is an internal mount component. The fault can be the result of vibration from the gun mount's sustained fire over the past 10 minutes, or from the general vibration environment in the strait at 16 knots in moderate chop, or from a component failure that has been developing gradually. The gyro fault is not resettable from the fire control console. It requires a mount maintenance action at the physical mount, specifically a gyro reset command executed at the mount's local control panel on the mount base. The mount maintenance action takes approximately 90 seconds. Open the local control access panel, navigate to the gyro reset function in the mount's built-in test menu, execute the reset, and wait for the gyro to spin up and achieve lock. 90 seconds. Sierra 9 will be at the Cole's beam in approximately 45 seconds. The chief engineer is not in the system's chain of command for weapons. He has been in DC Central since the General Quarters call because that is where his role places him. He reads the CIWS fault at 1:44:13 a.m. on the DC Central Link status display. The same fault indication the systems officer is reading in CIC. He has one thing that the systems officer does not have in this moment. He is 3 meters from the forward CIWS mount access ladder. DC Central is located immediately below the forward CIWS mounting position. and the mount access ladder runs from the 01 deck, one deck above DC Central, to the mount base at the 03 deck level. He calls the commanding officer on the 1MC at 1:44:21 a.m., 2 seconds after reading the fault. Commanding officer, chief engineer, I can reach the forward CIWS local control panel in 45 seconds. I need permission to execute a gyro reset at the mount. This will take an additional 90 seconds from arrival. The mount should be responsive at approximately 2.5 minutes from now. 2.5 minutes. Sierra 9 will be alongside in approximately 45 seconds. The gun mount will engage Sierra 9 in approximately 30 seconds, if it is on target. The commanding officer has a gun mount solution that arrives approximately simultaneously with Sierra 9's closest approach. He does not need the CIWS for Sierra 9 if the gun mount engages effectively. The commanding officer responds at 1:44:24 a.m. Chief engineer, stand by. Gun mount engaging Sierra 9 now. The gun mount fires at 1:44:39 a.m. The first burst, 6 rounds from the 5-inch gun, impacts Sierra 9 at 1,580 meters range. Sierra 9 is disabled. It decelerates rapidly and goes to 0 speed at 1:44:55 a.m., approximately 1,400 meters off the Cole's starboard bow. The gun mount resumes its engagement of the port side contacts. The immediate Sierra 9 crisis is resolved by the gun mount. The forward CIWS remains offline with its gyro fault. At 1:44:57 a.m., the commanding officer calls DC Central. Chief engineer, the CIWS gyro reset. Can you do it with 3 contacts still in the engagement? The chief engineer has been thinking about this since 1:44:21 a.m. 20 seconds of processing while the gun mount was traversing to engage Sierra 9. His answer, yes, with conditions. The forward CIWS mount is on the forward superstructure. Reaching the local control panel requires climbing the mount access ladder, which runs up the exterior of the forward superstructure. The mount is on a 360-degree rotating base that is currently in a stopped position due to the gyro fault. The local control panel is at the mount base, accessible from the 03 deck catwalk that circumnavigates the mount. The 03 deck catwalk is exposed. It is topside on the exterior of the superstructure, open to the environment. 3 IRGCN contacts are still active in the engagement area. The small arms teams are on the bridge wings and the 01 deck. The 03 deck is above the small arms positions and is not a normal manned station during a swarm engagement. But it is accessible, and the CIWS local control panel is accessible from there. He reaches the 03 deck catwalk at 1:45:27 a.m. 30 seconds after the commanding officer's authorization, 32 seconds after the gun mount disabled Sierra 9. The catwalk is 0.8 meters wide, circling the CIWS mount base. With a 1.2 meter safety railing on the outboard side and the mount structure on the inboard side. The mount is stationary. The local control panel is on the mount's port face, a 20 centimeter by 30 centimeter access panel with a latch handle. He opens it at 1:45:29 a.m. The built-in test menu is a 7-item list on a 10 centimeter by 15 centimeter LCD display. Item 4 is gyro reset. He navigates to item 4 using the 2-button navigation interface, up and down, select. 3 button presses. He selects gyro reset at 1:45:37 a.m., 10 seconds from panel opening. The GYRO reset function displays a confirmation prompt. Execute gyro reset? Yes/no. He selects yes at 1:45:38 a.m. The mount's internal display reads, gyro reset initiated. Spin up approximately 75 seconds. He closes the local control panel at 1:45:42 a.m. and begins the descent to DC Central. The 03 deck catwalk is exposed to the night air, 33 degrees Celsius, and still. the Gulf's characteristic absence of wind at this hour. And in the 12 seconds he has been at the panel, two things have been visible from his position that are not visible from any other position on the ship. The disabled Sierra 9 to starboard, motionless at approximately 1,400 meters, and the flash of the gun mount's continued fire to port as it engages one of the remaining contacts at a bearing he cannot see from DC Central. He does not spend time observing these things. He descends. In CIC, the systems officer is tracking the gyro reset status at 1:45:45 a.m. Gyro resetting. Spin-up in progress. The forward CIWS is not yet operational. The three remaining contacts are at ranges of 1,800, 2,400, and 3,100 meters. The gun mount is engaged with the closest contact on the port side. At 1:47:02 a.m., the CIWS status changes. GYRO lock achieved. Mount ready. The forward CIWS is operational. The systems officer immediately commands it to autonomous engagement mode. It responds. The forward CIWS acquires the second closest contact at 1,600 meters, bearing 012 degrees. It engages at 1:47:09 a.m. A burst of 20mm rounds from the 6-barrel Gatling gun at 3,000 rounds per minute. The contact is engaged at 1:47:11 a.m. The contact decelerates and stops at 1:47:19 a.m. The third contact turns away at 1:47:22 a.m. It has observed two of the three remaining contacts disabled and has assessed the tactical situation as no longer viable. The engagement ends. The convoy continues through the strait. The chief engineer is back in DC Central at 1:45:55 a.m. 13 seconds after initiating the gyro reset. 62 seconds after the commanding officer's authorization. He has been absent from DC Central for a total of 92 seconds. During those 92 seconds, two things happened on the Cole. The gun mount disabled Sierra 9, and the gyro reset was initiated. The chief engineer missed both events from DC Central. He was on the 03 deck catwalk for both. When he returned to DC Central at 1:45:55 a.m., the ship's damage control status was unchanged from his departure. No new flooding, no new fire, no new system failures. His absence had no operational consequence. The post-event debrief examined one question specifically. Was the chief engineer's initiative to reach the CIWS local control panel consistent with his role? The formal answer from the Fleet Engineering Command was yes, with a qualifier. The qualifier was that the action was appropriate given the tactical situation. A close-range surface contact approaching the ship, the primary last resort defensive system offline, the person capable of the quickest repair in physical proximity to the mount, and the gun mount's engagement of Sierra 9 not yet confirmed at the moment the chief engineer requested permission. The qualifier also noted that the chief engineer correctly sought commanding officer authorization before acting and did not self-initiate the departure from DC Central. The commanding officer was asked whether he would have authorized the gyro reset if Sierra 9 had not been engaged by the gun mount. He said he would have authorized it earlier, not later. The 30-second delay between the chief engineer's initial request and the authorization was the time required to assess whether the gun mount's Sierra 9 engagement would succeed before committing his engineering department head to a topside task during an active swarm engagement. He said the gun mount's engagement gave him a margin that did not exist at the moment of the initial request, and he used that margin to authorize the action he had already decided to take. The chief engineer was asked whether he would have gone to the CIWS mount without authorization. He said no. He said the question answers itself. The commanding officer is the commanding officer. DC Central is the chief engineer station. And the appropriate action when you can see a solution is to report it to the person who has the authority to authorize it, and then execute when authorized. He said he did not go to the 03 deck because he decided to go to the 03 deck. He went to the 03 deck because the commanding officer authorized it. He was asked what he would have done if the commanding officer had not authorized the gyro reset. If the gun mount had not been available for Sierra 9, and the commanding officer had instead needed the chief engineer to manage damage control for a potential hull strike from Sierra 9 getting through, he said he would have remained in DC Central. He said the commanding officer's decision authority includes the decision about which problem is more critical at any given moment. And that decision belongs to the commanding officer, not to the person who can see only one of the problems clearly. He said DC Central gives him the full damage picture. The 03 deck gives him 90 seconds and a gyro reset. He goes to the 03 deck when the commanding officer's calculation says the gyro reset is the right problem. He stays in DC Central when it is not. 11 IRGCN fast patrol contacts plus 1 late emerging contact Sierra 9. Forward CIWS offline at 1:44:13 a.m. GYRO fault. Aft CIWS arc obstructed for Sierra 9 engagement geometry. Gun mount engaged Sierra 9 at 1:44:39 a.m. Contact disabled at 1:44:55 a.m. Chief Engineer authorization requested at 1:44:21 a.m. Granted at 1:44:57 a.m. Chief Engineer reached 03 deck catwalk at 1:45:27 a.m. Local control panel opened at 1:45:29 a.m. GYRO reset initiated at 1:45:38 a.m. Local control panel closed at 1:45:42 a.m. Gyro lock achieved at 1:47:02 a.m. Forward CIWS engaged second contact at 1:47:09 a.m. Third contact turned away at 1:47:22 a.m. Chief Engineer total absence from DC Central, 92 seconds. Ship status operational. The forward CIWS Phalanx mount on USS Cole has a gyroscope that was replaced at the last scheduled maintenance interval 8 months ago. The replacement component met all specification requirements and has been functioning within normal parameters since installation. The gyro fault at 1:44:13 a.m. was assessed as a vibration-induced transient. The sustained gun mount firing over 10 minutes of engagement had introduced structural vibration into the forward superstructure at a frequency that overlapped with a sensitivity band of the gyro's vibration isolation mounting. The fault was not a component failure. It was an environmental sensitivity that the gyro's vibration isolation was not sufficient to manage at the sustained vibration levels of an extended gun mount engagement. The post-event maintenance assessment recommended a vibration isolation upgrade for the forward CIWS gyro mounting that would increase the isolation bandwidth sufficiently to prevent this fault mode during extended gun mount engagements. The upgrade was assessed as a 2-hour installation at the next maintenance period. It was scheduled. The chief engineer submitted one observation in the post-event report. The local control panel's GYRO reset function is the correct recovery procedure for this fault, and the procedure takes less than 90 seconds from panel opening. He recommended that the gyro reset procedure be included in the CIWS operator's immediate action brief, the card that watchstanders keep at the fire control console and use for fault recovery without reference to the full technical manual. The immediate action brief for the forward CIWS, as it existed at the time of this event, did not include gyro fault recovery as an immediate action item. It treated gyro faults as maintenance-required events rather than operator recoverable events, which is why the systems officer's response to the fault was to report it rather than attempt recovery. The recommendation was accepted. The CIWS immediate action brief was updated to include gyro reset as a recoverable operator action in the event of a gyro fault during an active engagement. The update does not specify who performs the reset. It specifies that the reset is performable and that it takes approximately 90 seconds. The person who performs it and from which station they depart to do so is a question for the commanding officer. The mount access ladder that the chief engineer climbed at 1:45 a.m. is a standard shipboard access ladder. Steel rungs, non-skid treads, vertical rise of approximately 3.8 meters from the 01 deck to the 03 deck catwalk. He climbed it in approximately 27 seconds. He descended it in approximately 13 seconds. The local control panel he opened and closed is a standard access panel. Latch handle, 2 screws if fully secured. A 10 centimeter by 15 centimeter LCD display and 2 navigation buttons. The entire mechanical interaction with the mount took 8 seconds. The CIWS engaged the second contact at 1:47:09 a.m. The third contact turned away at 1:47:22 a.m. The commanding officer secured general quarters at 1:49:11 a.m. The convoy continued its transit through the Strait of Hormuz without further incident. The VLCCs and the product tanker arrived at the Kuwaiti terminal on schedule, 8 seconds at the local control panel, 92 seconds absent from DC Central. 1 contact disabled by the CIWS that would otherwise have required the gun mount, which was already engaging the third contact from a different bearing. The arithmetic is specific and does not require elaboration.